My name is Kay. Welcome to ArtBookNook, where I share my amazing collection of art and craft books with you. I've been fascinated by pop-up books ever since I was a small child. I would spend hours and hours opening and closing the pages, trying to understand how they worked. I even dreamt of becoming a paper engineer, and over the years I've collected quite a number of these magical books. This video celebrates the genius of Lothar Meggendorfer, one of the great innovators of original movable books. Known for his humour, lively characters and theatrical flair, Meggendorfer created books with one clear aim in mind: entertainment. This book brings together reproductions of his animated comic creations, works first published before the turn of the 20th century, and reveals the ingenuity behind them. Hidden between the pages are tiny rivets and cleverly linked levers, allowing 5 or even 6 movements to spring to life with a single pull of a tab. It's both a nostalgic tribute and a joyful celebration of mechanical imagination. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Each spread in the book includes a working model accompanied by a humorous poem. I'll read the first one to you. It's called The Maid, as it nicely illustrates Meggendorfer's playful sense of humour. As you watch the model move, notice how the maid's arms pivot from her left elbow and her shoulders, while the mistress's mouth opens and closes. You can imagine the poor maid being barked at, can't you, with a string of rather strict instructions. The Maid. The mistress wants the mirror polished to perfection. She just can't wait until she sees her beautiful reflection. "Do hurry up," she loudly cries. "It can't take long to clean it. I want that mirror spick and span, the best I've ever seen it." The helpful servant rubs the mirror, hard enough to shake it, but thinks that when her mistress looks, her face will likely break it. It's quite endearing, isn't it? As we look through the following spreads, watch closely and notice where the models move. Some of the movements are quite subtle, perhaps a pair of eyes shifting or the tail of a cat flicking, and while you enjoy these little details, I'll tell you how I first came across the work of Lothar Meggendorfer. About 10 years ago or so, I attended a weekend pop-up workshop with a paper engineer called Duncan Birmingham. I'll mention Duncan again a little later in this video. On that course was a very elderly lady called Margaret. She was fascinated to hear about the books in the other students' collections, and she would hand out her business card explaining that she had one of the largest collections of pop-up books in the UK, and if we were ever in London, she would be delighted to show them to us. The next time I happened to be in London visiting a friend, I decided to take Margaret up on her very kind offer and arranged to see her. I was expecting perhaps a few shelves of modern pop-up books by contemporary paper engineers, but I could not have been more mistaken. Margaret had what I can only describe as a library of virtually every pop-up and movable book ever published, including some extraordinarily rare first editions. At the end of this long room was a small raised platform with a sofa and coffee table, where Margaret invited my friend and I to sit. She then carefully put on a pair of white gloves and began bringing out her most treasured and valuable books. We were not allowed to touch them, as they were far too precious, but it was during that visit that I first saw this book, the book I'm sharing with you now, The Genius of Lothar Meggendorfer. My own copy is a reproduction, but Margaret's was the real thing. I was completely blown away, and I spent a wonderful afternoon with Margaret, one I have never forgotten. She mentioned that she planned to leave her extraordinary collection to the British Library so that other people could experience the same joy of discovering these remarkable books for themselves. Are you just a little curious to know how Lothar Meggendorfer managed to achieve such realistic movement in his illustrations? Well, here he reveals his secret. Meggendorfer devised ingenious lever systems hidden between the pages of his books, allowing several parts of an illustration to move at once. The levers were joined with tiny metal rivets made from tightly curled copper wire, so that a single pull tab could trigger multiple actions. The working model shown here uses 6 rivets to move the mechanism, but Meggendorfer's original illustration used 9, and some of his designs contained more than a dozen. It's a remarkable piece of paper engineering, and I absolutely love it. One of my projects when I get time is to actually create a movable image from one of Heath Robinson's drawings of those amazing contraptions. I think it'll be challenging but fun at the same time. If you'd like to learn more about Lothar Meggendorfer, in the description below I've linked to an article on Wikipedia. I've also included a link to the Movable Book Society, an organisation for collectors and artists that shares information about pop-up and movable books. And finally, something I find an absolute joy is Duncan Birmingham's How to Make Pop-Ups channel, which is a goldmine of tutorials showing very clearly how to build nearly 100 different paper mechanisms, from a simple V-fold to much more complex structures. I filmed this video to accompany my review of The Art of Pop-Up, where I explore the world of paper engineering, pop-up design and the mechanics behind movable books. I've linked to that below as well if you'd like to take a look. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed my review. If you did, please give it a like or a hype. It really does help YouTube share the video with other people who may be interested in movable or pop-up books. And if you'd like to see more reviews of some fantastic art books, you'll find plenty more for you here on the channel. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. It really makes my day, and I do read and reply to everyone. So until next time, enjoy exploring the wonderful world of pop-ups and movable books.